In a crowded room full of noise and chatter, have you ever noticed that one person who doesn't need to shout to be heard? While everyone else is fighting for attention, raising their voices, interrupting each other, this person sits quietly. They are calm. They are grounded. But the moment they decide to speak, the entire room falls silent. Why does this happen? What is the invisible force that commands such instant respect? We often mistake leadership for loudness. We think that to lead, we must dominate the conversation, we must speak the most, and we must be the loudest person in the room. But true leadership is exactly the opposite. True power is quiet. Welcome to Clean Slate Audiobook. Today, we are beginning a masterclass on one of the most valuable skills you will ever possess: the ability to talk like a leader. This is not about learning difficult vocabulary or sounding like a politician. This is about rewriting the operating system of your communication. Over this 3-part series, we will strip away the weak habits that are sabotaging your authority. We will install the psychological tools used by CEOs, world leaders, and master negotiators to influence people without force. In Part 1, we are going to master the instrument itself, your voice. We will learn why silence is louder than words, how to eliminate the sounds of insecurity, and the secret of the downward inflection. Let's wipe the slate clean and find your true voice. Let's start with the most uncomfortable tool in the leader's toolbox: silence. Most of us are terrified of silence. When a conversation pauses for even 2 seconds, we panic. Our brain screams, "Say something, fill the gap, don't let it be awkward." So we rush in, we babble, we make a joke, we nervously agree. We treat silence like an enemy that must be destroyed, but a leader treats silence like a weapon. Look at the difference between a nervous employee and a confident CEO. When the employee is asked a tough question, they answer immediately, often stumbling over their words because they are afraid that a pause will make them look stupid. But when a leader is asked a tough question, they pause, they breathe, they look you in the eye. They wait for 3, 4, maybe 5 seconds before they speak. This pause does 3 powerful things. First, it shows that you are in control of your own time. You are not rushing to please anyone. You answer on your own terms. Second, it signals that you are a thinker. It tells the audience, "I am considering your question deeply." This makes your eventual answer carry much more weight. And third, and most importantly, it makes people lean in. Silence creates a vacuum, and human curiosity naturally wants to fill that vacuum. When you stop speaking, people stop scrolling on their phones. They stop daydreaming. They look at you. They wonder, what is coming next? So, your first assignment is to practice the 3-second rule. In your next conversation, before you reply to any statement, count to 3 in your head. 1, 2, 3. Then speak. It will feel like an eternity to you, but to the listener, you will sound incredibly thoughtful and composed. Do not fear the void. Own it. Now, let's talk about the melody of your voice. Did you know that you can say the exact right words? But if you use the wrong melody, you will sound like a follower? In linguistics, there is a concept called inflection. There are 3 types of inflection: upward, neutral, and downward. Upward inflection is when your voice goes up at the end of a sentence. It sounds like a question. "My name is John. We should do this project?" Even when you are stating a fact, the upward inflection makes it sound like you are asking for permission. It signals uncertainty. It signals a lack of confidence. It is the voice of someone who is afraid to be wrong. Neutral inflection is flat. It is the voice of a robot or a GPS. Turn left at the next street. It is boring and uninspiring. But downward inflection. This is the voice of authority. This is when your pitch goes down at the end of the sentence. "My name is John. We will do this project." This is the way forward. When you drop your voice at the end, you are signaling certainty. You are closing the door on doubt. The police, judges, and high-level executives all use downward inflection instinctively. It tells the listener's brain, this is a fact. This is not up for debate. If you want to talk like a leader, you must stop asking for permission with your tone. Record yourself speaking. Do you end your sentences high? If you do, practice bringing them down. Imagine a heavy stone dropping to the floor at the last word of your sentence. Land the plane. Speak in periods, not question marks. But what destroys authority faster than anything else? It is the language of softening. We are taught to be polite. We are taught not to offend. So we use filler words and qualifiers. Filler words are the ums, ahs, like, and you know. These are the sounds of your brain buffering. They tell the listener that you are not prepared or that you are nervous. Qualifiers are words like just, maybe, I think, sort of, hopefully. I just wanted to check in. I think we should maybe try this. Hopefully, this makes sense. These words act like leakages in a pipe. They drain the power out of your statement. A leader does not think or hope. A leader knows. Instead of saying, I just wanted to ask if you have the report, say, do you have the report? Instead of saying, I think this is a good idea, say, this is a good idea. Instead of saying, does that make sense? Which implies you explained it badly, say, do you have any questions? This is called economy of language. Leaders are stingy with their words. They treat words like gold coins, valuable and rare. The more you talk, the less your words are worth. The less you talk, the more people listen. Strip your sentences down to the bone. Remove the fluff. Remove the apology. State your truth, and then stop talking. Now, let's address the speed. Nervous people talk fast. They are afraid that if they slow down, someone will interrupt them. They try to cram as much information as possible into a short time. This is a poverty mindset. It screams, my time is not valuable, so I must hurry. Leaders speak slowly. They operate on high-status time. They know that no one will interrupt them. They know that what they have to say is worth waiting for. Speaking slowly also allows you to articulate your words clearly. It prevents mumbling. It gives your listener time to process your ideas. Imagine a lion walking through the savannah. Does it run nervously? Does it scurry like a mouse? No. It moves slowly. It moves with purpose. It knows it is the king. When you speak, slow down your pace by 20%. Enunciate every consonant. Relish the words. When you slow down, you calm your own nervous system. You lower your heart rate. You actually become more confident simply by the act of speaking slower. But there is a trap here. Some people think that talking like a leader means being aggressive, loud, or domineering. This is fake alpha behavior, and it is repulsive. Real leadership is not about intimidation. It is about warmth and competence. Psychologists have found that we judge leaders on two metrics. Can they do the job? Competence? And do they care about us? Warmth. If you are only competent, stern, cold, efficient, people will respect you, but they will not follow you. They will fear you. If you are only warm, nice, friendly, soft, people will like you, but they will not respect you. They will walk all over you. The magic happens when you combine them. You need the velvet hammer. Your voice should be firm, competence, but your face and your intention should be kind. Warmth. You can deliver a tough message. This performance is not acceptable. But you can do it with a tone of concern and support, rather than anger. I know you are capable of better than this, and I want to help you get there. That is the voice of a leader. It holds the standard high, but it keeps the connection strong. So, how do we practice this? You cannot change your voice overnight, but you can change it one conversation at a time. For the next 24 hours, I want you to play a game called The Anchor. Imagine you are an anchor on a ship. You are heavy, deep, and unmovable. When you walk into a room, drop your shoulders. Drop your breath into your stomach, not your chest. And when you speak, drop your pitch. Focus on 3 things. Pause before you reply. Remove the word just from your vocabulary. Use the downward inflection. You will feel strange at first. You might feel rude or too serious. That is just your old programming fighting back. That is the people pleaser in you dying. Let it die. You are not being rude. You are being clear. You are not being serious. You are being significant. This concludes part 1 of how to talk like a leader. We have tuned the instrument. We have slowed down the pace. We have embraced the silence. But having a great voice is useless if you don't know what to say. How do you structure a sentence to make it unforgettable? How do you tell a story that changes minds? In part 2, we are going to explore the rhetoric of power. We will learn the rule of 3, the secret of metaphors, and how to paint pictures with your words. This is Clean Slate Audiobook. If you are ready to speak your truth, hit that subscribe button. You are taking the first step to finding your true voice. But having a powerful voice is useless if you don't know what to say. You can have the best delivery in the world, but if your content is boring, unstructured, or forgettable, you will lose your audience in seconds. So, let's move to the second pillar of leadership, the rhetoric of power. A leader does not just speak to convey information. A leader speaks to create a vision. To do this, you need more than just grammar. You need rhetoric. Rhetoric is the ancient art of persuasion. It is the hidden structure behind every great speech, every viral TED Talk, and every memorable movie quote. Today, in part 2, we are going to open the secret playbook of the world's greatest orators. We will learn the rule of 3, the magic of metaphor, and the hypnotic power of repetition. By the end of this session, you will not just be speaking. You will be painting pictures in the minds of your listeners. Let's build your arsenal. The rule of 3. Let's start with the most fundamental rule of communication, the rule of 3. Why 3? Because the human brain is wired to process information in patterns. 3 is the smallest number required to create a pattern. 1 is a point. 2 is a line. 3 is a shape. It is stable. It is complete. It is satisfying. Look at history. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Blood, sweat, and tears. Government of the people. By the people. For the people. Look at storytelling. The 3 Little Pigs. The 3 Musketeers. Beginning, middle, end. When you list 2 things, it feels incomplete. When you list 4 things, it feels like a grocery list too long to remember. But 3 is magic. So, how do you use this as a leader? Never give a long, rambling list of reasons. Always group your ideas into 3 pillars. If someone asks, why should we choose your strategy? Do not say, well, it's cheaper, and it's faster, and also we have a good team, and the technology is new. That sounds messy. Instead, say, we should choose this strategy for 3 reasons. First, it is cost-effective. Second, it is scalable. And third, it is proven. Boom, boom, boom. It sounds organized. It sounds prepared. It makes you look like a structured thinker. Even if you are improvising, if you say, there are 3 points here, your brain will automatically find 3 points, and you will sound like a genius. Practice this today. In your emails, in your meetings, structure everything in 3s. It is the triangle of power, the power of metaphor. Now, let's move to the tool that separates managers from visionaries. Metaphor. A manager speaks in data. We need to increase efficiency by 10%. A visionary speaks in pictures. We need to trim the fat. Metaphor is the bridge between the known and the unknown. When you introduce a complex, abstract, or boring concept, people's eyes glaze over. But if you can link that concept to something they already understand physically, you unlock their understanding instantly. Steve Jobs did not say, "This computer has a lot of memory." He said, "It's like having a library in your pocket." Warren Buffett does not say, "Economic moats protect businesses." He says, "We want to build a castle with a shark-filled moat around it." Why does this work? Because our brains are visual. We cannot see efficiency. We cannot see synergy. But we can see a castle. We can see a library. If you want to talk like a leader, stop using corporate jargon. Stop saying leverage, synergy, paradigm shift. Nobody knows what that means emotionally. Instead, ask yourself, what is this like? Is your team struggling? We are in a storm, but I know how to steer the ship. Is the project stuck? We are spinning our wheels. Is the opportunity huge? We are sitting on a gold mine. When you use imagery, you are not just reaching the logic center of the brain, you are reaching the emotional center. You are making your idea sticky. People might forget your numbers, but they will never forget your pictures. The art of repetition, anaphora. Next, we have the technique of repetition. In poetry, this is called anaphora. This is when you repeat the same phrase at the beginning of successive sentences. Martin Luther King Jr. did not just say, "I have a dream." He said it again, and again, and again. I have a dream that one day. I have a dream that my 4 little children. I have a dream today. The repetition creates a rhythm. It creates a crescendo. It is musical. It acts like a drumbeat that drives the message home. If you want to emphasize a point, do not just say it once. Repeat the structure. Instead of saying, "We need to be better at sales, marketing, and product," say, "We need to be better at sales. We need to be better at marketing. And we need to be better at product." Do you hear the difference? The first one is a list. The second one is a rally cry. Use this when you want to inspire. Use this when you want to drive a point into the subconscious mind of your audience. Repetition implies importance. If you say it 3 times, it must be true. Contrast. The hero and the villain. Every great story needs a conflict. It needs a hero and a villain. It needs a before and an after. Leaders use contrast to create urgency. If you just present your solution, it's boring. You first have to present the problem in a way that makes the solution necessary. Light and dark. Future and past. Us and them. We can choose to stay here in safety, or we can choose to step out into greatness. This is not just about saving money. It is about saving our reputation. Yesterday, we were a startup. Today, we are a contender. By placing 2 opposing ideas next to each other, you create tension. And tension creates interest. Do not shy away from the negative. Define the enemy. The enemy could be laziness, the competition, the old way of doing things, or complacency. Once you define the enemy, you can position your idea as the sword that defeats it. People will follow a leader who clearly identifies the battle and offers a way to win. The power of you and we. Finally, let's look at the pronouns you use. Weak speakers use I and me. I want you to do this. I think this is good. My plan is. This is egocentric. It separates you from the tribe. Leaders use we and you. We are in this together. Our goal is. What this means for you is, when you use we, you build a coalition. You share the burden and the glory. When you use you make the listener the hero of the story. Instead of saying, "I have a great product," say, "You will love how this product saves you time." Shift the spotlight. Take it off yourself and shine it on the audience. When people feel that you are speaking for them, not at them, they will lower their defenses and follow your lead. Rhetorical questions. One last weapon for your arsenal. The rhetorical question. This is a question you ask, not to get an answer, but to force the audience to think. Do we want to be remembered as the team that gave up? Or do we want to be the team that made history? What would happen if we tried a different way? Why are we here? A statement is passive. The audience just listens. A question is active. The audience has to answer it in their heads. It engages their brain. It wakes them up. Use rhetorical questions to transition between topics or to emphasize a point. It invites the listener into the conversation, making it a dialogue rather than a monologue. Conclusion of Part 2. Let's recap. To talk like a leader, you must structure your thoughts. Use the rule of 3 to be clear. Use metaphors to be vivid. Use repetition to be memorable. Use contrast to be urgent. And use we to be inclusive. These are not just tricks. They are the building blocks of human influence. When you combine the calm, authoritative voice from Part 1 with the structured, poetic language of Part 2, you become a force of nature. You become someone worth listening to. But there is one final piece of the puzzle. You have the voice. You have the words. But what is your body doing? Are your hands betraying your confidence? Is your posture signaling weakness? In the final chapter, Part 3, we will master the silent language of leadership, body language, and psychology. We will learn how to stand, how to look, and how to own the room before you even open your mouth. Practice your 3s, paint your pictures. But remember, there is one final piece of the puzzle. You have the voice. You have the words. But what is your body doing? Are your hands betraying your confidence? Is your posture signaling weakness? People believe what they see, more than what they hear. So, let's master the final dimension. The silent language of leadership. In Part 1, we found the deep, resonant tone of your voice. In Part 2, we sharpened your words with the weapons of rhetoric. But there is one final, undeniable truth we must face. People believe what they see, not just what they hear. Studies suggest that a massive portion of human communication is nonverbal. Before you speak a single word, your posture has already introduced you. Before you finish your first sentence, your hands have already told the audience if you are trustworthy or deceptive. Before you leave the room, your eyes have already decided if you are a leader or a follower. You can have the voice of a god and the script of a poet, but if your body signals fear, you will fail. Today, in Part 3, we are going to master the silent language of leadership. We will learn the steeple of power, the lighthouse technique, and the terrifying effectiveness of absolute stillness. Let's complete your transformation. The power of grounding. It all begins with the feet. Most people do not think about their feet when they talk, but a leader builds their presence from the ground up. Nervous speakers have happy feet. They sway side to side. They shift their weight from one leg to the other. They cross their ankles. This constant movement signals to the primal brain of the audience that you are ready to run away. It signals fight or flight. A leader is grounded. Imagine a great oak tree. Its roots go deep into the earth. The wind may blow, the branches may sway, but the trunk does not move. When you stand to speak, place your feet shoulder-width apart. Distribute your weight evenly on both feet. Unlock your knees. And then, imagine roots growing out of your heels, anchoring you to the floor. This is called the power stance. It is not aggressive. It is stable. It takes up space. When you are grounded, you physically feel more confident. And when you stop swaying, the audience stops worrying about you. They feel safe. And when they feel safe, they trust you. The language of hands. Now, let's talk about your hands. What do you do with them? This is the #1 question people ask. Do I put them in my pockets? Do I cross them? Do I let them hang? The answer is, you use them to conduct the energy of the room. First, never hide your hands. Evolution has taught humans to look at hands to see if someone is holding a weapon. If you put your hands in your pockets or behind your back, the audience's subconscious brain gets suspicious. What are they hiding? Always keep your hands visible, above the waist. Here are the 3 power gestures used by every world leader. 1. The open palm. When you want to show honesty, openness, or invitation, show your palms. It says, "I have nothing to hide. I am unarmed. I am here to help." Use this when you are building rapport or asking for agreement. 2. The box. Imagine you are holding an invisible box in front of your chest. Keep your gestures inside this box. This is called controlled passion. Bill Clinton was a master of this. It shows that you are energetic, but you are also disciplined. You are not flailing your arms around like a windmill. You are precise. 3. The steeple. This is the ultimate power move. Touch your fingertips together lightly, forming a triangle or a church steeple. You will see Angela Merkel, Kevin O'Leary, and CEOs do this constantly. It signals deep thought, intelligence, and supreme confidence. Use the steeple when you are stating a fact, listening to a proposal, or making a final decision. It is the punctuation mark of authority. And a warning: avoid the fig leaf. This is when you clasp your hands in front of your groin. It is a protective posture. It makes you look weak and defensive. Break the fig leaf. Use the steeple instead. The eyes. The lighthouse technique. Your voice projects to the ears, but your connection happens through the eyes. Many speakers make the mistake of spraying. They look quickly from person to person, never locking eyes for more than a split second. They look like a lawn sprinkler. This makes them look shifty and nervous. A leader uses the lighthouse technique. Imagine you are a lighthouse. You emit a strong, steady beam of light. When you speak, find one person in the audience. Lock eyes with them. Finish a complete thought or sentence just for them. Take about 3 to 5 seconds. Then, move your beam to another person in a different part of the room. Lock eyes. Finish the next sentence. When you do this, you are having a series of mini conversations. The person you are looking at feels valued. The rest of the room feels your focus. You are not speaking at the crowd. You are speaking with the individuals. If you are in a small meeting, do not stare down the person you are trying to impress. Distribute your gaze. But when you make a key point, bring it back to the decision maker. Hold their gaze just a fraction of a second longer than comfortable. That is where the influence happens. The art of stillness. We live in a fidgety world. We check our phones. We touch our face. We fix our hair. Fidgeting is the leakage of nervous energy. It is low-status behavior. Think of the animal kingdom. The prey is always looking around, twitching, ready to bolt. The predator is still. The lion does not twitch. The eagle does not fidget. They conserve their energy until the moment of action. To talk like a leader, you must master the art of stillness. This is the hardest skill to learn. It means suppressing the urge to scratch your nose. It means resisting the urge to nod your head excessively while listening. Many people nod like a bobblehead doll to show they are listening. But excessive nodding makes you look submissive. It says, "Please like me. I agree. I agree." Instead, keep your head still. Keep your body still. When you agree, give a single, slow, deliberate nod. When you are still, you become a magnet. People have to come to you. You are the solid rock in the rushing river. Try this in your next meeting. Sit back. Keep your hands on the table. Do not move. Only move when you speak. You will be amazed at how much more weight your words carry when they come from a vessel of stillness. The psychology of warmth and competence. Finally, let's combine everything we have learned into a psychological framework known as the warmth and competence matrix. Social psychologists from Harvard have proven that these are the two dimensions we use to judge everyone. Competence is your strength. It is your downward inflection, your stillness, your steeple gesture, your rhetoric. It says, I can get things done. Warmth is your connection. It is your open palms, your eye contact, your smile, your inclusive language. We. It says, I am on your side. The mistake most people make is picking one. If you are high competence but low warmth, you are a tyrant. People fear you. If you are high warmth but low competence, you are a friend. People like you, but they don't listen to you. The leader is in the golden quadrant, high competence and high warmth. How do you do this? You stand like a general, competence, but you smile like a friend, warmth. You use the downward inflection, competence, but you use open palm gestures, warmth. You hold people accountable, competence, but you use the word we, warmth. It is this dynamic tension between strength and kindness that creates charisma. Charisma is not magic. It is simply the perfect balance of power and empathy. Conclusion. The conductor of your life. We have reached the end of our journey. You now have the toolkit. You have the voice of authority. Slow, low, and comfortable with silence. You have the rhetoric of power. The rule of three. Metaphors and repetition. You have the body of a leader. Grounded, open, and still. But knowing these tools is not enough. You must use them. You do not become a leader the day you get a promotion. You do not become a leader the day you get a corner office. You become a leader the moment you decide to speak like one. Leadership is a choice. It is a choice to stop babbling and start communicating. It is a choice to stop hiding and start standing tall. It is a choice to stop filling the silence with noise and start filling it with meaning. The next time you walk into a room, remember, you are the conductor. The room is your orchestra. Plant your feet, open your hands, take a breath, and lead. This has been the complete masterclass on how to talk like a leader, brought to you by Clean Slate Audiobook. If this series has given you a new voice, please subscribe and share this channel with a friend who is ready to lead. Your slate is clean. Your voice is ready. Go and make your mark on the world. Thank you for listening.